Really what it had become is that in the 25 years of education, I had been interested in transforming the public education system in general, and I knew that Butler Tech was an organization that was very progressive in thought. They were very idealistic about what public education should be, and in my interactions with staff and with administration and the board, seeing that excitement that they had about trying to create a movement for transforming public education excited me, and so I wanted to be a part of it.
Well, civic involvement is kind of thing that builds in your life. So I'm an architect, I had a lot of clients, I had a lot of friends, but my actual first civic involvement was in my local neighborhood where I live. I was invited to be part of the Rossville Historic District Board of Trustees. And that's, putting up banners and putting up Christmas decorations and cleaning up the neighborhood. It's very local, something you can get your arms around. And that kind of taught me a lesson that to get people involved, you have to start small and you have to get into something that you can feel like you're a big enough fish in the pond to have an impact. Because getting on large boards when you're young, you just seem like you would be in the background.
Many years ago, I was a keynote speaker at a conference called Net IP, and I talked about entrepreneurship and giving back. We collected tremendous amount of funding from these working professionals, and 6 people quit their job in the following 90 days and became entrepreneurs. 3 of them are now some of the biggest entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley. So I feel like, and I've had many examples of kids like this where I have really shaped their life and they've become amazing professionals.
I'd say this year, to be honest, it seems like we've simply put on a 3-day party for the last 6 years, and we've been recognized this year. Actually today we were just announced as the Citizens of the Year for the City of Hamilton, and then this award also. Didn't quite grasp, and I don't think I still do, the impact that we've made. So I'd have to say this year.
It's not the big things a lot of times. It's just, I was able to, a young associate that I work with had done a really nice job on a project, and I was able to, pull her aside and say, hey, this is really good work. You're doing great stuff here. So you can just see kind of the confidence level, growing in her. So to me, that's kind of the things that mean the most.
I was working for my previous employer in banking, and I was able to leverage a grant from the Federal Home Loan Bank that benefited the homeless shelter, Serve City in Hamilton, to build interim apartments with no debt on them that are drug and alcohol free for them to start to move back into society.
I think the best way to encourage is through modeling and setting an example, getting on board. Hamilton is very civic-minded, and there are a lot of opportunities to engage with the public and to make a difference. And so there's a lot of great role models that you can look to in our town. But I think when people see changes happening and people making a difference, that in and of itself is contagious.
Probably the best is to lead by example. If you're involved in your church, if you're involved in organizations, when it comes time to asking for volunteers, that you yourself are participating in those activities, whether it's helping students in need, helping communities in some way, in gathering resources, or whether it's being a mentor in some way. I think if you lead by example, others see the excitement that you have and the intrinsic rewards that you receive from volunteering and doing that kind of work, that they want to be a part of it as well.
Couple things. I enjoy writing, almost kind of like blogging a little bit, and I like to fly fish. It's a new hobby that took me about 35 years to refined, and so it's been about 2 years now that I've been actively doing it, but I love it.
I am a musician, piano player. Doesn't come into my work life very much, but I do get to play in the praise band at our church, the Presbyterian Church in Hamilton.
Well, I like to spend time with my husband and my golden retriever, Abby. We have a travel trailer, so we like to camp. Obviously not this time of year. I crochet. I like to read. I sing in our choir, my church choir. So I have a whole variety of things I like to do in my free time.
One is that I don't have time. I must be so busy that I don't have any time. I honestly believe that you always have time for things that are important to you. And I always have time for my kids that I mentor and for anyone I can help. The second assumption people make about me is that I am extremely difficult or intimidating. That's because I expect a lot from people. I raise the bar, and my purpose is only to get better.
I think, I'm a litigator, so we tend to have a reputation of being pretty aggressive and strong. But I cry at movies all the time. I mean, sometimes I cry in cartoons. So I got a soft side, but not a lot of people get to see it.
Oh, I have two, Goonies and National Treasure. They're both, I guess they kind of have a similar premise. There's a treasure, they're hunting for it. I was adventurous like that, still kind of am, so it intrigues me. I enjoy it.
It's not a particular movie, although I love movies, I'm a movie buff. It's not a particular movie that I like to watch again and again, but there are 3 shows that I can watch at any time they are on TV. Any episode, no matter how many times I've seen it, and that's Everybody Loves Raymond, Family Ties, and Cheers.
I'm pretty sappy, so I would say Pride and Prejudice, the Keira Knightley version, The Holiday, Family Man, but I'm also a sucker for Adam Sandler, and I grew up in the 80s, so definitely The Wedding Singer.